Okay, we are about to finish the practice here, the last practice of eSchool. If you've already tried that, I hope you've already tried this, and now you're just using this just to check in case you're doing it at a time where your teacher's not available. If your teacher's available, maybe just try it first and say, hey, did I do this right? Then you guys can have a little bit more organic conversation than just this video doing it for you. But clearly, we want to find y, and they even wrote y first, so let's try to find y first. And if you look at y, you can see this nice 30, 60, 90 triangle sitting right here. So that means we should use our version of Thelma. Let's go ahead and use our version of Thelma and draw, is it orange? Yeah, okay. Let's draw her right here. I can draw a little bit bigger. Got enough room on this one, it looks like. So I'm struggling to draw a good Thelma here. Okay, with short leg of 1, long leg of square root of 3, hypotenuse of 2. Now this is like, some of you guys are starting to see this, I hope. Remember, the hypotenuse is just twice as long as the short leg. Well, look at this. We have a short leg of 10, and if the hypotenuse is supposed to be 2 times as big, then what will y be? Yeah, y is going to just be 20. I'm not even going to set up a proportion this time. If you did set up one and checked, that's fine. You should still get 20 because your proportion would look like this. It would look something like y over 10, if that's, I did hypotenuse over short leg. So that should equal hypotenuse over short leg from Thelma, which is also 2 over 1. Cross multiply, you still get y equals 20. Okay. Now that we have the hypotenuse of this purple triangle was 20, well, I can go with the orange triangle now, which is not orange yet, but it will soon be orange. This orange triangle, and just draw another like Thelma that way. Same, whoa, my hand. Weird looking hand in the picture, but sorry. So, okay, this has a short leg of 1, a long leg of square root of 3, and a hypotenuse of 2, just like every one of them. But again, in this orange triangle, the short leg is now 20. It was the hypotenuse of the purple triangle, but now it's the short leg of this orange triangle. Okay, and so if we're looking for x, which is the hypotenuse, how do the hypotenuse and the short leg of a 30, 60, 90 relate? The hypotenuse is always twice as big as the short leg. And so in this orange triangle, 20 is the short leg. So the hypotenuse is supposed to be twice as big, which is 40. So again, if you set up a proportion, you should still get 40, but that's all I'm going to do on this one. I'm just going to say we got 40. 40 is the x on this one. So y was 20, x was 40. Hopefully you got that. All right, next one. Find the perimeter of a 30, 60, 90 triangle with a hypotenuse of 20. I'm going to draw the picture of a 30, 60, 90 triangle. We've got x here, hypotenuse of 20, long leg of y, let's say. So we got our 30, 60, 90 triangle. We'll go ahead and draw a Thelma so that we can get the other two sides so we can find the perimeter. We'll say a Thelma that looks a little bit like this with a short leg of 1, long leg of 2, I'm sorry, hypotenuse of 2, long leg of square root of 3. So let's set up our proportions and find the missing sides. You had a very similar problem in the guided practice, and you will have another one like it in the mastery check. So let's go with, I'll start with y over 20. So I've got long leg over hypotenuse equals square root of 3 over 2, which is also, that's Thelma's long leg over her hypotenuse. So cross multiply, we got 2y equals 20 times the square root of 3. We can divide both sides by 2, and we're left with y equals 10 times the square root of 3. So that is our long leg. And can you just, can you see how long x is supposed to be? If our hypotenuse was 20, remember, how do the hypotenuse and the short leg interact? Hypotenuse is twice as long as the short leg. So if our hypotenuse is 20, what should our short leg be? Hopefully you said 10. If you want to set up a proportion, you can. You can go with 20 over x if you want. That's one way to go about it. That's hypotenuse over short leg should equal 2 over 1 from Thelma. That was her hypotenuse over her short leg. Cross multiply, and you've got 20 equals 2x. That means you have to now divide by 2, and you get 10 equals x. All right, so let's make sure we do the perimeter now. It's 10 square root of 3 plus the 10 plus the 20. That's what we got for all three sides there. So we can combine these two sides, and we're left with perimeter equals 10 square root of 3 plus 30. So our perimeter will be 10 square root of 3 plus 30. That's how you get all the way around the outside of this triangle that we've drawn. Very last problem of e-school, well, except for the mastery check. All right, so a dog walks from point A to point B by walking up the ramp, across the flat platform, so up the ramp, across the platform, and down the other ramp. How far did he walk? Well, we already know he walks 12 feet. Now we just need to find out this distance right here. Let's call it x. Can you tell that that's a 30, 60, 90 triangle? I will go ahead and draw a Thelma right next to it. So in the same direction, we've got 1 square root of 3 and a 2. So let's set up our proportion. Again, some of you are seeing, I don't need a proportion on this. I see exactly what's going on. But if you do need one, that's fine. We'll go with x over 4.5. If you can tell, that is the hypotenuse over the short leg of the 30, 60, 90 triangle, because here's 30, and 30 is opposite of the short leg. So hypotenuse over short leg will equal hypotenuse over short leg. We cross multiply, and we've got 1x equals 4.5 times 2, which is just 9. So we find out that the hypotenuse here, the ramp part, is 9. So all we need to do is do the 9 plus the 12 plus the other 9. Okay, and so that makes a total distance of 30 feet. And that's it. I'm signing off for the last time this year. It has been wonderful working with all of you, and go ahead and make sure you do take the mastery check. And it's called Week 7, Module 3. I hope you've had a wonderful year. I know it's been a rough one overall for a lot of reasons, but you've stuck with it, and that means you are a very, very strong person. I'm proud of you. Have a great summer, guys.